Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Flipside on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji, and yes, we have a very interesting topic to talk about on Flipside. And I would like to let you know this part about this program. It is not gender based. Like you say, it's the women thing or it's the men thing or it's always women against men or those kind of mindset. So basically, this program is not gender based. So like I said, we have a very interesting topic to talk about as the society requires so much from women, in a modernized world where you get to see a lot of changes, a lot of development, a lot of some outdated and a cake mindset being phased out, but you get to still see some into play, That's to tell you that no matter how hard you try to change some persons, change is a constant thing, is inevitable. So we're going to be looking at a working class mom versus a stay-at-home mom. Who makes a better home? This is the question that a lot of persons get to deal with in this modern life where exposure and digitalization has taken place. But for me, for me, both of them, both stay-at-home mother and a working class mom makes a better home. For I just feel it's all about what works for you, what works for that particular individual, what works for that particular family, or what they want. But it's okay. It's not just going to be me thinking both works or both are okay or, otherwise. I have my discussants in the building and you're going to meet them together. We're going to talk about this particular topic as we are women and how we're going to deal with all of these things when it hits us. So from my far left, I got a black beauty. So how
good
are you?
afternoon. I'm fine.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I'm Idika.
Omwa Idika. So she's gonna be telling us all she thinks, or probably all she would want to see as a woman who definitely will be a mom. All right. So very close to her, I also have. Let's get to meet you.
Okay, good afternoon, viewers. I'm Abimbola Christabel Lucky.
Okay, so we have Omwa and we have Abimbola, and very close to Abimbola. Should I call her a regular face on TV? But it's okay. So let's also get to meet you.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Natoyowa Stephanie.
All right, so together we're going to be doing justice to the topic I just made mention of, a stay-at-home mom versus a working class mom who makes a better home. What works for you? So before we dive into the discussion proper, let's also go on a short break. All right, welcome back to Flipside on ITV, where we could get to talk about things that bothers us as women. So back to my discourse, and let's just quickly dive into the discussion proper. So we'll have enough time to, say our might and dissect some of those things that really bothers us as women. And I'm going to be starting off with Stephanie. Stephanie,
Yes.
growing up as a child, there is always this particular time where you get to see yourself discussing with your peers and you'll be like, I want to be this, I want to be that, and and as a teenager and as a youth, it continued like that. So
Yeah.
for you now, being a mother, what is it like for you? What do you want to be? Is he a working class mom first? Because we need to know before you now answer the question.
Yes.
So what do you really anticipate to be in that regard?
I want to be a working class mother, of course. Yes, because gone are those times where mothers are just stay-at-home moms. That they what they do is just to cook, cater for the kids, make sure that the home is okay and
Yeah.
well. But aside from the fact that all of that is actually nice,
Mm-hmm.
but I would love to like support my husband, thereby having my own job. Like, not the fact that it's not that my job is actually going to alter my role as a mom to my kids or to the family. So I would want to be a working class mom. Yes.
Okay, we want to be a working class
Mm-hmm.
mom. All right. So, what about you, Omar?
Okay, personally, I would like to be a working class mom because being a working class mom gives you independence, can serve as a role like inspire your children to dream of better things, and it can like give you career fulfillment.
Okay. Please, Abimbola, sorry. I would like you to tell me you want to be a stay-at-home mom.
No,
Okay, so what about
I
you?
definitely want to be a working class mom actually, because
Okay.
if I should use my home as a case study, I actually love what I see.
Hmm.
Even as my mom is a working class mom, and I want to actually replicate that and do it better.
Okay. Okay, the reason for this discussion today was because I was having a conversation with someone, although she's a working class mom, but she
Okay.
said something striking, like, I beg, if my husband would just tell me to sit at home, I'm tired of working. Did you understand? She
Yes.
said she just wants to be a full-time housewife. And I was like, do you really think this is what you want for yourself? Or you're saying this because you're stressed up, like
Yeah.
you're just tired, you need a time out, you just wish like all these kids are all grown and they can do things on their own, or this is really what you want for yourself? And she was like, that is what I want. And I can sense it was from the place of stress. Not really
True. True.
what she wants for herself. So now back to the fact that we all want to be a working class mom. So it's going to be we now versus what people think out there, because a lot of persons think that working class mom have zero or less attention for the family. So what do you make of that? Let me start off with you,
Okay.
Omoa.
I don't think working class moms they neglect their children. It's all about time and balance. A
Okay.
woman can be working and still have time for her children. All about time management. She can work and have great quality time with her children at the same time. That's how I feel about that.
Okay, so how about you?
Okay,
Abimbola.
well, for me, I feel like a working class mom, it actually depends on the personality of the mother, how her character, and the love in the home. Even while she's working, she can actually manage the home too. It depends on how the responsibilities are shared, the respect that they have. Because for a mother that has older kids, or even younger ones, she can get help elsewhere, still have to go to work, come back, and she can, in the area of cooking, she can cook ahead. And
Okay.
then you not really have to actually stress that much, though the stress will still be there. So I think she can actually still manage the home.
She can manage. You're thinking.
You're not sure.
I know she can manage the home. Yes, so I know.
Okay, so Stephanie, let's also get to hear what you think about that.
Okay. So in as much as I want to be a working class mom, but to be realistic, stay at home mom, they make a better home. Don't get me wrong, because they're already looking at me.
Yeah.
They're already giving me one eye. So working class mom are trying their best to actually make sure that they can still keep their home, take care of their home, and still maintain their work. But there are some women, you know, women, we take things too extra. Exactly, we take things too extra.
Yeah.
I've stayed with my aunt that she is a working class, she's actually a working class, but she has little or no time for the children. And when the husband comes and like, I know you are working, but you can actually make room for these children. She'll give I'm the one working, I'm doing this, I'll still come back to the house, I'll still make food, make dinner, make breakfast, the work is too much. So situations like that, they tend to complain when their husbands see them lagging behind in terms of taking care of their children.
Yeah.
They've come up with this, I'm working, I'm doing this, I'm cooking, it's not easy. And the husband will be like, I work too, but I still try, you get. So I feel like stay at home mom actually make the most of when it comes to taking care of the children. When it comes to taking care of children, because we women, working most times may take over our heads. Let me put it like that. So when we are working, especially when you're earning more than the man, it's giving you that leverage. It's more like you're having that excuse, a very, very valid excuse to behave in some kind of way, to do some certain things. In my house, like in our neighbor close to us, she's a working class. She goes very early by, let's say before 6 o'clock, she goes to work and come back by 9 or probably 10, let's say 10 o'clock. And the children are always home alone.
Yeah.
Most times the husband will have to like come, take excuse from work and come just to check up on these children. But like when he knows that he cannot take excuse to come and take care of these children, we'll have to beg the neighbors, those women, those stay-at-home moms, please help me take care of these children. And anytime he brings up the fact that you are not having enough time to take care of these children, so the wife, she start nagging and saying she's working, she's doing this, she cannot come back home and start cooking and start doing. I don't know if you understand. So there's always that nagging from working class women that they are doing too much already at work to come home and start catering for the kids. This. We should get a maid. We should get somebody that should help us take care of these children. Forgetting the fact that as a mother, you would do more in taking care of your child compared to how a maid is going to take care of your child. So I still maintain my fact to say that stay-at-home mom, they make the best mom.
Thank you very much. Like, you really hit the nail in the head. So now, for me, with what you said, you just spoke my mind, but sometimes your wishes might not really be the right thing for you.
Yeah.
If you ask me genuinely, I will tell you, I would have loved to be a stay-at-home mom, but for a particular time. Not forever.
Yes, not
You
entirely.
understand? Not entirely a
Like you at least allow your
mom.
children to be like, let's say, to be like well grown to
Yeah,
an
at
extent that
least
you
for
know
7, 8
that you know
years.
that okay, I can actually leave these children at home. They will understand. Oh, mommy has to go to work. Mommy has to do this, and you know that leaving them, they can actually take care of themselves. There are this age gap between them that you know that okay, the older one can actually take care of them. So at least you can at least wait for your children to grow up a bit before venturing into your career. I'm not saying that you should put it on hold or you should completely shut it out because you have children. Just give them that room, train them while they are still tender. Then when you know that, okay, these children can actually be left alone at this particular age, then you can go chase your career.
But okay, let me take you on that, Omwa. Now, you know, with what Stephanie said, a lot of persons find it very difficult to say, okay, I can let go of what I'm doing because of the salary, in quote, especially when they earn more than their husband. They will be like, I do this, I do that, I, you know, take the bigger part of the responsibility of the house.
Yeah.
So what, you as the father decide to quit your job while I continue my job. So for you who probably might be in that situation, or your husband doesn't even earn more than you, but you are just this normal working class lady, would you think of at least letting go of your job for the sake of your children, knowing fully well that with what we watch on socials these days, it's traumatizing, where you get to see that you take your children to school and at the end of the day they are being abused, they are being tortured, maybe you leave your food for your child's teacher to feed her, and at the end of the day the teacher will be the one that will eat the food. That's on a lighter note. What would you do differently to be able to see that you fill that gap for your child?
Okay, honestly, it's all about time management and balance. You could create a good schedule between you and your husband, like meal time, who would be at home this day, and who would pick the children from school today, who would pick the children from school tomorrow. I grew up with a working class mom, and there was love in the house, like the balance. It was very, very balanced. My dad would do this one today, my mom would do this one tomorrow, or sometimes we'll go to her workplace where other children are. There are places where they keep children there, like rooms where children play. So I think she'll be able to balance it. So it all depends on the individual and the family that they come from.
Okay, you said they have a place where children stay. How about some of those offices that don't have where children stay? So how do you handle that? It's a personal decision.
And she said something about planning.
Yeah.
You can actually plan how your week is going to go, but something can come up.
Exactly.
A particular day at work, maybe your MD will tell you, we're going to be working late today. We have to meet this target. Like, you can't plan in that situation. Events can come up. There are sometimes that you as the husband, you will not be able, maybe you come by 8 every evening. There are some times that you have to work late.
Yeah.
Same for the lady. So planning will not always work.
True.
So let me take you, Abimbola, on that too. So in a situation whereby you find yourself also in that position where you necessarily have to show your kids, your family, the love and attention they need, going with the trauma and the things we see on social, like I asked them or more, how do you picture yourself savaging that situation? Because I can tell you now, I have someone who had a child and she was meant to resume work, and because her mom have stayed for long, and you know, she going back was a problem because she felt like, Mom, you've stayed too long. I've enjoyed all of this, your assistance and everything. So if you're leaving, I'm going to put my baby in a daycare or even all those probably nanny that take care of babies. But she was like, don't do that. I saw a video on social media the other day, because the power of social media can never be overemphasized.
Sure.
It gives us exposure to things we don't see and don't know. Things that are happening behind.
Yeah.
So she said, I saw that baby. Her mom came to pick her and the baby had bruises all over him. And by the time the mom was asking, what happened to my child? This teacher said, he fell and she fell. She fell. Where were you when she was falling? Do you get that question?
Yeah.
I pay you for this. I brought my child because I feel like I will not be there. My eyes will not be there. I want to avoid all of this in this fall now. Probably this injury that my child is having. That is why I brought my child to you, so that you take care of it. You become my eyes. And you as a parent, you're coming to meet your child in that situation. What does it tell you as a working class mom that you should do?
Okay, I know we can't actually downplay the fact that, yes, even while children are in schools, these bruises may happen and all of that. But then as a working class mom, I already have my child in the school there, and I have to make a decision if the child if I have to stop working or stay at home with the child. But then if I should stop working and want to have more time for that child, the child still has to go to school, actually. Those bruises may still have to happen. I feel like you just have to actually create a balance, pick the right school. Which are not just any school that you see and they say this school is good or anything. I know that it's not always easy to actually know which school is right or which school is not right. But as a working class mom, you just have to first move with the leading of God, actually. And the child, you just have to move with the leading of God, yes, and decide whether you have to stay at home. Because for me, my mom, she's still a working class mom, and I could see how she created a balance. And it still depends on the children you have anyways, how they behave and all of that. She could create that balance, the stability, the support and everything that we need. That we never actually felt absence, because there are sometimes we have days off. She has days of where she's like stays with the children and all of that. So if I should actually see my child in that kind of place, I will have to remove the child from that place, from that school. If it's in a situation where I can't leave my job at that moment, I will have to look for a place to put the child next. And if I can leave my job, I'll actually take some time off and stay with that child, but then not actually living the idea of being a working class mom.
Okay. You said your mom is a working class mom. And you know, she also inspired you.
Yes.
So how do you, in a modern world, just like what Stephanie said, that her neighbor, who is a stay-at-home mom, was assisting her sister, right?
My neighbor was my neighbor, who is a stay-at-home mom, was assisting the neighbor, like they stay in the same house.
Okay.
Who was a working class.
Okay.
To care for the children most
to
time.
care for the children. So in such a situation whereby you are in that kind of compound, where you as a working class lady is seeing your fellow lady handling the responsibility of both her children and your children as a working class mom. But eventually you might just be saying, this woman too, they sit down for us. And those people who stay at home, they tend to tag them the gossip of the compound.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because everything that happens in the compound, you're going to be an eyewitness.
Know.
Do you understand? So for that, how would you now say, okay, I don't want my children to behave like this woman's children, because she plays majorly the role you are supposed to play in the life of your children. So how do you now navigate between making your children feel like, okay, I want my child to behave in this type of way. I don't want my child to behave like this my neighbor's child. But yet, that your neighbor keeps taking care of your child when you're not there. So how do you inspire your children or your child to become exactly what you want them to be?
Okay, well, I feel it depends on the environment, like the way you just analyzed it, like those children staying in that compound where they are not alone, they have other neighbors, and I have to be at work while my children are being taken care of by someone else, and I want to stop them from actually inculcating the maybe characters that are not right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I feel like it's actually how you. I feel like nobody can actually determine how your children turn out if you actually give in the time to actually groom them. Even while I'm at work and when I come back, I will actually see the signs if they give off characters like that, and I'll try my best to actually make them like remove those kind of characters, like teach them rights. Teach them, because I would say for me, even when my mom, she would be at work, there are sometimes, okay, I have to be with neighbors or my siblings have to be with neighbors sometimes, and they may want to like get some kind of characters, vibes that are not really right. When she comes and she notices that, she tries their best, she makes sure she inculcates the right character in them and try to remove that character that they have gained, and actually give them reasons why they shouldn't move in that way, even if she can't be with them at that point. But then I would also like to say that even while we were younger, my mom was not really like a stay-at-home mom, but she had more time. Like at work, she closed by 4, 5, and we actually.
Was she self-employed or she was working?
Self-employed.
That is it. So you can't compare someone who is self-employed with someone who is working under somebody.
Yeah, that's true. But then I still think someone who is working under somebody there are other, aside school, because when they come back from school, they have to go home, right?
Yeah.
So aside school, there are other things like extracurricular activities, like maybe
Extra
learning an
lessons.
instrument, extra lessons you can actually place your children in. Like I know a mom that when her children close from school, they are learning this keyboard or guitar. They have a music school where they go. So when she's coming back from work, she just picks them from there.
So at what age do you think is an ideal time for you to say, okay, you can let your child go? Knowing you fully well that some organizations will just tell you just 3 months maternity leave.
Yeah.
The maximum they can give to you is 6 months. So, and your child is just 6 months old or 3 months old, depending on the one your organization gives to you. So how do you deal with that timing? Okay, let me ask Stephanie before Omo will respond to that.
The timing?
Yes.
I'm not in support of, like I said, stay-at-home mom, they make the best mom.
Yeah.
So since I want to be a working class mom, so let me answer like in
working class mom.
Exactly. So like in that situation, but I wanted to point out something that she said.
Okay, go ahead.
She said that if your children are learning like other characters that you don't, behaviors that you don't like from their neighbors, you can actually talk them into. There's some mothers that don't notice those things.
Yes.
They come back from work tired and their own is just to sleep and eat. So they actually do not notice those things. So it's going to be very, very, very difficult. It's only a mother that still cares about the upbringing of their children that would want to actually pay close attention to their children, regardless of the fact that she doesn't have the time to always be with them. Yes, you get.
Well, if I should actually also speak to that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier when we started, I said I feel it has to do with the personality of the woman and the character of the woman. As a working class mom, if you have that love and that support, you know what you want your children to be, you actually create that time. Even if you come late and all of that, you actually create that time. There's this thing that brings togetherness in the family. Sometimes when you get back, you just have this little time, no matter how little it is, to talk to your children and like just see what they do. From there, when you're consistent, it may not be so long and all, but when you're consistent, you'll actually be able to do that.
Okay, consistency is another thing we also have to put into consideration. Now, what are those challenges that most stay-at-home mother face, because despite the fact that they stay at home and we think they make best mom,
Yeah.
there are also some challenges that they get to face. But that's what we'll respond to when we come back from this short break. Just stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Flipside on ITV. I am Caroline Okunji, and we've been talking about a stay-at-home mom versus a working-class mom who makes a better home. And I've got Omwa, Stephanie, and Bimbola. Together, we've been doing justice to that topic. And before we went on that short break, I asked a question I would also like us to start reacting to. The question is, as a stay-at-home mom, yes, we know that you make better home, better children, compared to a working-class mom. We can't take that away from them. But regardless, there are some certain challenges that they face, which makes working-class mom wouldn't want to stay at home. Because if you get to hear people talk about stay-at-home mom, they belittle them, they downgrade them, they look at them as someone who has less to contribute and all of that. So by so doing, you see the other person who is just watching all of these things feel like, God forbid, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mother. It is not because it's not the right thing to do, but because she doesn't want to go through that same humiliation and embarrassment and abuse that stay-at-home mother is going through. So because of that, I would like us to talk about some of those challenges that women who decide to say, okay, I want to stay at home and take care of my kids, face. So now, let me start off with you, Omwa.
Okay.
What are those challenges that you think, if maybe you're working, you want to say, okay, let me switch. But because of those things, you don't want to just think about staying at home to take care of your kids.
Okay.
Let's talk about them.
One disadvantage or challenge of being a stay-at-home mom is financial dependence. They don't have any source of income or what they are doing. Hereby, they'll just be very dependent on the husband, and a lot of pressure will be on the husband alone to provide for the family.
Yeah.
So like, unlike a working class mom, she's earning her own income. She can provide things, like if anything happen, like the husband loses his job or like separation or death, she can be able to make life-changing decisions for herself and her children. Then another one is isolation, and some of them regret because they don't have what they are doing, they don't have a skill, they don't have anything doing. Mind you, a stay-at-home mom is not somebody that has store or anything. That's a person that has a store or trader is still a working class mom. So most of the stay-at-home moms, they regret most of the times. That's why most of them, they're always isolated, bored, and not doing anything, and they always have some evil thoughts.
Okay. Okay, so what are those things you would like to avoid or you're scared of when you get to think about it or you hear them? You're just scared. No. For this reason, I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom or because I want to avoid all of those things. So what are those things?
Firstly, I wouldn't want to be a liability because I'm just kind of person that I love this. I just want to have something doing. I want to
Make your money.
I love that. And also, I don't want my children to have that image of me like just being at home. At least if I'm going to be a stay-at-home, I want to maybe work remotely or have a skill that I'm doing. So I wouldn't want to feel undervalued because there are some men that they are even the ones that ask their wives to be stay-at-home moms. But you see when things, maybe when they get emotionally stressed, yes, thank you. They tend to talk to the woman and be like, what do you even contribute to get? You are just staying at home. What does it take to take care of children and all of that? Meanwhile, they don't know that it actually takes a lot. So most of the stay-at-home moms, you actually see them even sometimes they are more tired than the working class mom, actually. And you see some of them because of they get lazy. They get lazy because for a person like me now, I'm this kind of person that I easily get bored of things when they just keep recurring. I get bored of it. So imagine I'm always cleaning, cooking, doing the things that I still will be able to do as a working class mom. I will get tired, I will get lazy. That's why you see some of them, they give themselves to gossiping. if they live in the urban neighborhoods. Yes, and they just are so deep into their thoughts. They are not really out there innovating or doing something nice, or they don't just actually. I don't want to actually feel like a stay-at-home mom actually because of those. I don't want to feel undervalued. I want my children to see me as this role model who works and at the same time can keep the home, can express that love towards them that they need. Yes.
Okay, so let's also hear from you, Stephanie.
Yes. The reason why I would not want to be a stay-at-home mom, even if I know that they make the best mom, is because they tag them as lazy.
Okay.
They tag them as not ambitious. Like the fact that they just, because most times they make it look like taking care of children is a very easy job, that anybody can do it. So when you're now a full-time stay-at-home mom, that you always take care of your children, they see you as, she's lazy, she doesn't want to work. Well, there's not just to take care of children. That's it. She doesn't want to work, she's lazy. And not ambitious, like more like she doesn't see more of herself. She doesn't see herself being more other than being a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't like envision herself in the brighter, I don't know if you get brighter view of actually making something good out of her life. And most times they fail to understand that most women that actually want to be a stay-at-home mom, they already have good education background. They graduated well. They just want to be a stay-at-home mom, and most times the husband are the determinant of them being a stay-at-home mom, and they would like, I want you to stay at home, I'll be working. So you don't know what actually happened to why they decided to be a stay-at-home mom. But most people just tag them as lazy. So me, I know I'm not lazy. So I would not want people to tag me as lazy and not ambitious. So I would not want to be a stay-at-home mom.
All right. Okay.
I also like to add to that because there are some women, they did not actually decide to be stay-at-home moms.
I think most women did not decide. Yeah.
It's a
Their
thing
husband's
of
influence.
The husband compromise, yes, and they have to like
The
sacrifice.
situation at that point. And some of them, there's some that the husband will just outright tell them, I don't want my woman to work,
Right.
they actually goes. I just want.
So if you are in that category, would you just solely embrace it?
No.
Not really. If I don't go out to work 9 to 5, I will definitely be doing something at
Yeah.
home.
Okay. Now, Stephanie, you said something. You said because you don't want people to tag you lazy.
Yes.
I can understand when you said financial aspect of it. You don't want to be a liability as well. Now, it all boils down to what people say.
Of course.
So how do you manage what people say with what you want for yourself? Because for me, I know people would even talk, whether as a stay-at-home mom or as a working class mom, because you cannot satisfy humans.
True.
This is about me, about my home, about my family, about what I want for my children in future. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, people will tag you, she too dey work. She does not have time for her kids.
Yes.
That's why they are living a wayward life. That's why they are mannerless. That's why they are this, they are that. They don't even have respect and all of this. And you as a mom, you are concerned about people not calling you lazy or about you not being seen as a liability.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with what people say to what you want for yourself? Because for me, I think I would prefer people call me lazy because I choose to stay at home and take care of my family and my kids. I'm not saying that is what I want for myself, but at least when you have two options and you're told to choose one, you must definitely choose one. So for me, I'm saying categorically that I would prefer to be called lazy and take care of my kids and make sure that I see every aspect and developmental aspect of their life. You get? Because there are things you would want to correct immediately, and there are things you feel like, okay, at this stage it is their time, let me just let this slide. But when you're a working class mom, it is only what the person taking care of your child tells you that you get to see or know. But the ones the child is doing behind you, you don't know them. So a lot of women who are really much concerned about what people will say, what people think about me. I don't want people to perceive me in this angle. I don't want people to talk about me in this line or in this aspect of life. but there are more pressing issues that you are blind to as a mother and as a woman. But because you are busy satisfying what people say or people think about you, you are no longer concerned about your primary self, about those primary things you are supposed to be concerned about. So now, how do you deal with what people say with what you want for yourself?
It's simple. You let them say what they want to say. At the end of the day, you matter to yourself. It's more like putting yourself first. Because like you said, being a working class or being a stay-at-home mom, people will still talk. They will still find flaws and say, oh, she's not doing this one well. She's not doing this, even while as she's working or while she's staying at home. So just give dead ears to what people are saying. You know what you want for yourself and you know what works for you. So stick to what works for you and stick to what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, you matter to yourself and not others.
Okay, so for because most of us now, we just want to see ourselves working class mom, and all of that. So for these stay-at-home mom, I mean the full stay-at-home mom, those people who they don't have side hustle, you know. Yeah. So how do we get to support them in the society where they are being seen as lazy, like we said here?
They can get a skill.
Okay. Like
baking. You can do that from your house. While you're
like
staying in the house.
I heard you saying something about
my mom was a baker and she was also a teacher, so she was actually doing well both ways. Okay. She ran both businesses and she was excelling very well. So as a stay-at-home mom, full-time, that doesn't want to go out and come back in the nights, like go out for white-collar jobs, you can actually learn a skill. You can either do baking, you can also learn a digital skill. Online, so you can work online. You can. I think learning a skill is actually so that you be self-employed, so that you won't be working under. I think working under somebody is that's the pressure of you not having time to take care of yourself and your children. So just learn a skill and try to be self-employed.
All right, thank you. Omwa, for you who have always been a working class lady and marriage now made you become a mom. All your time growing up, you've always seen yourself working and being that burst kind of, you know, always in your comfortable zone. And marriage life is a different life and a different system entirely, where you get to see yourself adjusting to it. Now, marriage made you become a mom. So how do you adventure? You never can tell what life holds for you. You now decide, okay, with what I have seen so far, or with what I think I know, let me just give my career a break and be with my family. How do you navigate that? How do you just let go of that your real self of you've always been working?
Okay, like Stephanie said earlier, you can take time off work and take care of your children first. Then when they are grown, you can decide to go back to work. Or if you don't want to go back, like she said, you can learn a skill online, or you can learn digital skills, or learn a handwork. Like she said, someone was baking from home and still taking care of her children. So that would be the best way.
Okay, that would be the best way. So how about you? Just on a quick one.
Okay, if I married with me, I have to be a stay-at-home.
No, if marriage makes you a mom and you've always been a working class lady like you are now, so what would you do differently? What would you do differently?
Well, already I have a skill. If I'm to look at it from that angle, I have a skill and I can get busy with that. But then if I'm a woman that doesn't have a skill at all, I just have to, at first it's not going to be easy, it's going to be so hard, but then you just have to embrace the fact that you have to be at home for your children at this point in time, at this period of time. And actually, you know, in spite of how your emotions are going to be stressed because of that, you just try to focus on the main reason why you're staying at home.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go on a short break. We'll continue from there. All right, welcome back. And, you know, like I say, how time flies when you are busy having fun. Yeah, and I can tell for free that we've been having fun talking about some of those things we face in the society as women and as mothers to be, you know. So quickly before we leave the studio, I would like us to start, advising ourselves and encouraging ourselves who possibly want to be a working class mom and or a stay-at-home mom. So let me start off with you, Omar. I just had to take you. So what are your advice for possibly those women that want to be a stay-at-home mom and those who also want to be a working class mom? So what do you have to tell them?
For working class mom, like I said before, there should be time management. Communication skills is very necessary, and set boundaries. Ask for help anytime like you need help, or that's it for working class mom.
All right, so let me just hear you.
Okay, for a working class mom, I would say just try to create the balance.
All right.
As you said, time management has to be there, and be more intentional about your support. And for a stay-at-home mom, just try to get a skill, find something doing. No matter, it may not be fetching so much, but just get busy and take care of your children as you're supposed to.
Stephanie, so what about you? Your advice for them?
They've said it all. As a stay-at-home mom, get a skill and don't be solely dependent on your husband. Then as a working class mom, try. I know it's not going to be easy, but just try. When you're intentional about your children, you can actually try to make out time for them.
Okay, to add to what they have said, let me let you know that whether it's stay-at-home mom or a working class mom, both would definitely make a perfect and a fantastic home. It's just all about your sacrifice. Be there for your family when they need you. Know that there is time for everything. This is the time for work. This is the time for my family. This is the time for myself. Try to draw your timetable and see how you can meet up with all of them. All right, this is where we draw the curtain for today on Flipside on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji saying many thanks to you for watching, and for my co-discussants, or I call them co-hosts on the show. Thank you too for being a part of the conversation. See you next week by God's grace.